Seattle Seahawks at the Buffalo Bills. Look at this one. This is a good one. Bills getting 3 points at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Here's my big question. Seattle has our number 1 run defense grade. Not a huge deal, but they got this old skill. They can stop the run pretty well. Can't rush the passer, but they can stop the run. Buffalo's dead last. Run stop grade. Is this the game? Every week I'm going to ask, is this the game they pull Russ out of the kitchen? Is this the game? Are they so tempted by Buffalo's leaky run defense that Seattle tries to run the ball? And I'm not saying that's a bad strategy necessarily. I'm not saying like it's not the week to go average 6 a pop, even though you've got running back injuries. But I'm always curious at the second half of the season here if they take a little bit off Russ's plate.
Well, that's where it becomes interesting, right? Is that there are going to be games where it might actually make some sense, and this might be one of them. Like, as much as you're being celebrated and lauded for this let Russ cook strategy, and it's turned you into one of the most formidable offenses in the NFL, what happens when you run up against a team who are just going to give you 6 yards of carry on the ground? Like, I mean, the Chiefs were happy to take that, right? Yeah. The Chiefs didn't have a problem with taking the ball out of Mahomes' hand, albeit in crappy conditions, so it made a little bit more sense. But they were perfectly happy to say, all right, we'll take that all day long. That's cool. But if you're Seattle and suddenly everything has been going so well with this let Russ cook strategy, are you okay with reverting back to conservative ground and pound, let's establish the run and that's how we win?
I'm okay with it because I think part of balance on offense that I keep saying is run the ball when given the opportunity. Run the ball well is fine. I'm not saying you got to start the game with 15 runs and a couple play actions and that's it, but you adjust to what the defense gives you. So if it is Buffalo playing a little bit conservative, playing their too high shell, saying we're not going to let Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf beat us, which again, that's what they did against Kansas City very much, right? They invited the run and said, let's just not lose to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And ultimately what they give up, like 26 points or whatever, it's kind of a win if you're Buffalo. If you can hold Seattle in the mid-20s, then it's, all right, this is Josh Allen has to come back, right? Josh Allen has to be first 4 weeks Josh Allen, spread the ball around against a poor pass defense of Seattle, and that's your best bet in winning. So if Seattle is given the opportunity to run the ball, fine, run the ball a little bit more, but you still have to let Russ create some big plays as well.
Yeah, the other thing I'm endlessly fascinated by is somehow DK Metcalf keeps running up against this like sequence of tiny cornerbacks. Now, Tre'Davious White is less tiny than the other cornerbacks he's faced, but still, we're talking 5'11", 190 pounds going up against, 6'4", 230. That's still a monster mismatch in terms of size. And Buffalo does use their cornerbacks to shadow. So, and the thing is, it would be Tre'Davious White, I think, that shadowed him on the basis that the other option is potentially Levi Wallace, who's even more lightweight.
Yeah, but do you play this the way, say, the Patriots like to shadow, which is Tre'Davious White should be getting the best route runner more so than just the biggest threat, right? Tre'Davious White is probably a better fit against Tyler Lockett one-on-one, but potentially on an island. And then you throw 6 guys on DK. That's the strategy for taking those guys out.
But interestingly, when you look at where they have used Tre'Davious White to shadow receivers, it's been bigger receivers.
Yeah,
bizarrely, it's been.
No, I'm just wondering. Nobody's as big as DK too, so how does that?
But it's been that style. It's been the Preston Williams, the Rashad Perrimans, the Zay Jones. Like it's been the bigger guy, not the quicker, smaller guy, right?
Yeah.
So, I just think that's an interesting matchup. DK Metcalf against anybody poses a problem, but particularly against the Buffalo corners that are lightweight, relatively small guys, and they have a tendency to track receivers. Does that just put Tre'Davious on an island against a guy that's 5 inches and 40 pounds heavier than him all game long? It's not that he can't cover him. It's just, man, that's a tough assignment.
I think this is going to be a good game, man. I'll be watching that matchup. If it is Tre'Davious versus DK straight up, it's going to be awesome. It's a great matchup. We always joke about Seattle playing crazy games. I think it's another one. I think it's Josh Allen. I got the numbers here. Where is he? Post apology, Sam. 73 grade. It's still middle of the pack. He's not playing horribly. 73 grade. His passer rating is 79. Stats are bad. Mm-hmm. So Bills fans, believe it or not, Josh Allen is playing better than his stats the last 4 games.
Okay.
In our biased world,
yes.
We're actually grading him better than his actual stats. But that's a lot closer to like the preseason predictions of he doesn't have to play great football. He should be able to produce with these playmakers. I think that gets back on track this week. I think the Buffalo passing game looks a lot better, and it comes down to Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter making plays.
We also get the debut of Carlos Dunlap on this defense for Seattle. That should be their best pass rusher right out of the gate on the basis that their previous other best pass rushers are their linebacker and their safety.
Good run defense gets even better.
Yeah. Jamal
Assuming it's last
Adams,
year's Dunlap.
questionable, limited participant in Wednesday's practice. If he's back, that transforms that defense, makes it significantly better and different. And if you suddenly have Carlos Dunlap, the newly found threat of Bobby Wagner on the blitz and Jamal Adams on the blitz, that's not easy to contend with.
No, that's what I want to see. We've talked about that quite a bit here on the show. Jamal Adams blitzing over 10 times per game, never been done in the Pete Carroll era, blitzing a safety that often.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bobby Wagner blitzing 20 times last week, getting a career high 6 pressures. That has never really been done in the Pete Carroll era either, where you take a linebacker, he's usually 2, 3, 5 per game. He was legitimately A gap, B gap in creating havoc last week. So I'll be looking forward to that entire matchup. I think Buffalo could look at Seattle's run defense too and say, you know what, this is a Josh Allen game from start to finish. Put the ball in his hands.
Right. I also hope that the addition of Carlos Dunlap doesn't take away what they were doing on the blitz, right? Like if the idea that, okay, we have a guy that can actually win one-on-one every now and again, so we're good now. Let's get more conservative and dial it back. No. Like the stuff you were doing with the blitz was working. Now you were forced into it because nobody can win up front. But what if you add a guy that can win up front to that? That's way better to me in terms of net overall. One guy that can win up front, 2 guys that can be effective on the blitz from different areas. Add all that together, and you're a way more difficult defense to contend with than you are if you just go, well, we're going to back off, play coverage, and let Carlos Dunlap lead the line.
It was awesome. It was really fun to watch, actually, against San Francisco. It was like they were really trying to get the ball out of Jimmy G's hands as fast as possible, with Wagner forcing the issue. I might do that against a Josh Allen in a similar way. Say, okay, you're going to get the ball out of your hands quickly. And if you don't, if you hesitate, if you misread one time, you're going to get popped, or you're going to, you're going to be in trouble, right? If you make them rely on the quick game and getting the ball out of Allen's hands and make decision after decision after decision on the way down the field. So we'll be watching Seattle's blitz against Buffalo, their pass protection, and Josh Allen's decision making. That's what I'll be keeping an eye out for. So Seattle by 3 right now on the road. Where are you leaning in this one?
I will take Seattle and the 3.
I'll take Seattle to win. I really think this is a big game for the Bills. I think they keep it close. They're at home, and it becomes a fourth quarter Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson game. I don't know if Buffalo's going to win, but I think if I had to wager, I like Buffalo keeping it close. So I'm going to lean that, taking the Bills with the points in one of the best games of the week here.
Thanks for watching the PFF YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe, all you have to do is push the button. Don't forget everything you get. A little fantasy, push the button. A little green line for the gambling aspects of the game, push the button. College football, push the button. The YouTube channel from PFF.